Hello, hi everyone. Hi Anand. Hi Srujan. Hi Spandana. Hello, hi Chetan. Hi Jitendra. How are you all doing? Let's wait for a minute. Hi Partha Sarthi. Hi ML Op series. Okay, we will discuss. Let's just wait for some time for others to join. Hello, hi, hello. Yeah, let's just wait for 1 minute and then we will get started. I'll pick up the questions. Can someone confirm if my audio is clear? Just let me know if my audio is clear. Yes or no. Not getting calls. Okay, we will talk. Yes, audio is clear. Hi Guru, how was the edit? Thank you so much. Sea Dream Creations, I uploaded it on my YouTube channel as well. Thank you so much. Sorry, I uploaded on my Instagram. Okay, we have 300 people already. So let's get started. I will tell you one thing. So this is a regular Monday live. So I'm trying to go live at least once a week because most of you people are asking for live. So I'm planning to do it on Monday, and today is Monday. So ask me anything. Just make sure you don't repeat the questions. I'll pick up the questions from the comment sections, right? So if you ask a question, do not repeat the question. Do not spam the inbox so that many people get the opportunity to ask questions. Cool. Let's get started. Okay, let me pick up the questions. Mm, mm, mm. Okay, let's pick up this one first. Please talk about transitioning from production support role to the DevOps role. See, basically, to transition from any role to any role, the roadmap will be the same, right? If you are in production support, you have a little edge because you already know things like Linux, you know things like monitoring, you know things like scripting, but the roadmap will be same. Whether you are a QA engineer, whether you are non-IT engineer, whomever you are, right? Roadmap will not change because you are coming from a different stream. My roadmap from the channel is very simple. DATE, DevOps zero to hero, AWS or Azure zero to hero, whichever one you want to pick. Now that both of them are complete. Terraform zero to hero. Finally, just learn Python, right? Python, again, we have a playlist, Python for DevOps. Just follow these things. You have everything in one channel. One mentor can explain you all the topics. It will be easy for you because you can just go with the flow with the same person whom you are learning, and the roadmap will be exactly the same. How clear the Terraform certificate? So personally, I have not done Terraform certification, but I have seen a lot of our subscribers uh, have uh, so a lot of our subscribers, sorry, have cleared the Terraform Essential certification. So I believe it should be an easy one because many people said that if they follow our Terraform zero to hero plus follow the documentation of Terraform, it is easy to clear. But personally, I've not given, so I'm not totally sure on how difficult is it and what kind of questions you can expect. Let me pick up again an interesting question. Can you make a troubleshooting video specific to Jenkins, Kubernetes, and Terraform? There is a surprise that is coming up because you are all in live. Uh, I'm just telling it up front. So we will do a troubleshooting series. Of course, Google did not reply to our comment, but yeah, still we will do a troubleshooting series. I'll announce it very soon. What exactly it will be, and I've posted something on LinkedIn, just a crazy thing. If Google comments on my post, I will do a troubleshooting series. I know Google will not comment, but still, it was just for fun. And yeah, nevertheless, I will be doing a troubleshooting series. Details will be announced very shortly. We are done with Azure, right? So we will go with that. Hmm, great. Yeah, ask me questions which are unique so that you don't spam the comment box. I'm reading all the comments. Okay. Hello, sir. Thanks for completing basic DevOps roadmap. Okay. Thanks for Okay, thanks. After completing basic DevOps roadmap, how one need to learn advanced OpenShift, Go, prof tools, and industry ask real-time scenarios. So real-time scenarios projects are already part of the playlist. So if you go to our playlist, there are like 30, 40, like we have done, let's say, three-tier architecture. We done multi-microservice architecture. We did complete CI/CD, including the migration, right? So there are so many real-time projects on the channel. Just have named few things. But talking about, if you want to learn things like OpenShift, OpenShift is not something that you have to learn, right? If you know Kubernetes, OpenShift is just a vendor that is distributing Kubernetes with a licensing. So if you have to learn OpenShift, there is nothing new. There are only few things which are the enterprise features of OpenShift. For example, in OpenShift, everything is an operator. So if you have Kubernetes knowledge, learning OpenShift is just a couple of days. If you want to learn it, there is OpenShift Sandbox, which is available for free for everyone. Just go there, create an account with that, and you can learn OpenShift. The labs are completely free. OpenShift Sandbox. Okay, cool. Let's move. What is the risk of fake experience and taking DevOps job from Chennai? It is totally risky. If you have that thought, please ignore, avoid that thought. To be honest, it's the worst idea to go with fake experience in the IT at this point of time, because the level of scrutiny or the level of background verification is so strict these days that even if you, let's say, for some reason you bypass the background verification, somehow you got into it, even in future you have the risk of getting caught. So why you have to go with fake experience? Instead, you know even if you put the fake experience, you have to anyways clear the interview. So instead, just keep trying by yourself. Instead of fake experience, try to show your experience in the freelancing or some other spaces. That is something that I would suggest. And I don't know why someone or who is giving this fake experience idea. If someone is selling the fake experience certificates, I think probably they are giving that ideas. They are like too risky at this point of time. Okay. Okay. Your course Python for DevOps is enough to learn, or we need to learn more? So, see, in the Python for DevOps, I have covered the topics that are required for DevOps engineers, and I've explained 4 projects in the Python for DevOps. Technically, it is good, but if you want to learn advanced, you can just take inspiration from those things and you can learn. But whatever things are required, I have covered in that playlist. Okay. What is Okay, fake experience? Do not remit the comment, please. Yeah, if you comment once, if I'll pick that comment. Okay, so you don't have to repeat that comment. Don't worry that a lot of people are commenting, so your comment will get ignored. No, I'm reading through each and every comment, so do not spam the inbox. Let everyone get the opportunity. Is MCA distance learning worth it doing job DevOps alongside after BCA? Is MCA distance learning worth it doing DevOps alongside after BCA? Like whether, see, distance education is something you can take anytime, and anything that you're studying doesn't go waste. So yeah, it's worth. Like I've seen a lot of people doing MBA, but I'm not specifically sure about MCA. A lot of people I know were doing MBA while working as DevOps engineers, just that they have interest in pursuing management roles in the future. So just try to understand what is your aspiration behind doing a particular course. If you want to do MCA, like why you want to do it, just try to think of it. Will it add anything to what you are trying to do? Thank you, Soham. See, I saw one comment 10 times. Why do you have to post it 10 times? If I will read, I will definitely read your comment. I'll just translate this to English. DevOps की job अब खत्म हो जाएगी क्या? That means will DevOps jobs or DevOps jobs going to end? I just made a video on this one. I made a video on the impact of Devin on developers as well as DevOps. Please see that video. I've explained in detail because these kind of questions. If I just say yes, if I just say no, what is the reasoning behind it? That's why I made a dedicated video. I've explained it in 10-11 minutes. But in a nutshell, no, job तो खत्म नहीं हो जाएगा. Jobs will not end. But I have explained using a case study why. Okay, so better try to read that. Okay, why can't you just start the thing to provide internship for some of the freshers and certify them as ABCDE, Abhishek Certified DevOps Engineer? Sounds very cool. ABCDE. Thank you, Jagan, for thinking that. But to do an internship, basically you need to register a legal form, and within that legal thing, like you have to create your own company, and you have to make sure that fraud kind of thing is not going on, right? So it's not that easy that if you try to onboard 10 people and tell them that you are giving internship, you just take money from them, and what are you actually giving back? If I just give back a certificate saying Abhishek Certified DevOps Engineer, what is the value to it? Like, if I'm giving a certificate, there has to be some value. Otherwise, that certificate is a piece of paper, right? So that's why. But let's see. In future, we'll try to do something. Can you play that guitar? We'll try to play one day for sure. Speak about DevSecops, Abhishek. It's been a new trend. Are you going to make a video on that? See, personally, I've told this multiple times. Don't think of DevSecops as a new trend or something. DevSecops is actually nothing. DevOps with security. People have created this in general at this point of time. We are in 2024. There is nothing without security, right? Whether you are a developer, whether you are a DevOps engineer, did you ever hear something called as uh, developer sec or devsecoper, whatever it is, right? Then why is there something called DevSecops? Why you have to explicitly talk about security in a DevOps job using DevSecops? Security has to be part of every developer's job role. Let's say even if you're writing a shell script, you have to secure your password by creating an environment variable or getting the secret from somewhere, right? Whatever you are doing, think of security. There is nothing called DevSecops. Personally, what this is what I believe. People have created this one, but otherwise, in 2024, everyone, whether they are QE, whether they are developers, whether they are anyone, they have to think of security personally, and only then they can survive. So if I have to make a video on DevSecops, let's say, what will that video be? I will just say, if you are building a CI/CD pipeline, I'll just tell you that in the CI/CD pipeline, make sure you get the secrets information from a vault, right? And I'll tell you, if you have to create a container image, scan that using Trivy or Clear or Quay. There are a lot of security tools, right? Or Docker. What is that? Like Docker Scout. So I'll just tell you these things. In general, what you have to think is, whatever you are doing, you have to make sure you include the security best practices in it. That is what is DevOps with security approach. People call it DevSecops, but in general, there is nothing like that. DevOps with GCP or AWS? AWS. See, GCP is trending, not trending. GCP is gaining hype. But in general, all my subscribers who are watching the videos, they are people learning DevOps, people who are trying to get into DevOps or planning to build their career knowledge on top of DevOps. When you are trying to do that, why go with something that is budding, or why go with something which might be good in the future? Instead, right now AWS and Azure are doing good, and you will have a lot of opportunities in AWS and Azure. So I will always prefer AWS or Azure. I'm not saying GCP is not good, but In this podcast or in this live session, I'm only talking from the jobs point of view, right? This is not a seminar that I'm trying to give, or this is not a video where I'm trying to explain about uh, engrossing technologies. I'm talking about videos that you should focus on. I'm talking about the courses that you have to focus on, topics that you have to focus on, so that you'll get placed in a DevOps and cloud role. Maximum opportunities are with AWS and Azure. That's why I'll always prefer AWS, Azure, then GCP. AC 400 is good certification in Azure in DevOps. Yeah, it's a good certification. If you are interested in certifications, you can go with it. But do not just expect that if you do a certification, you will get a job or something, right? Okay, let me pick up some more comments. How to ask for opportunities in DevOps roles? I have experience of 3.5 years in production support, facing trouble to justify my expertise. Yeah, see, basically, if you want to showcase experience, that's why we are doing this projects in the playlist, right? Let's say you want to justify your experience, and let's assume your work. I don't know in which company you're working in, Siddharth. Let's assume you are working in a company called uh, let's take example of Domino's, or let's say you're working for Citibank, which is much better, right? Let's say you're working for a banking company, so or you're working for any e-commerce company. So we have done a e-commerce application, three-tier e-commerce application deployment, where I've explained how different microservices will look like. I've explained how microservices interact with each other, how the microservice deployment takes place. All that you need to do is just convert those microservices into the kind of company that you're working in, try to build that story, establish your project, and then you have to justify your experience. Okay, let's pick up more comments. Tell about AWS DevOps opening situation right now. AWS DevOps has a lot of openings right now. I personally know a lot of people. Once in a while I keep posting on the community tab also, right? I try to post it once in a week, but sometimes I just miss it because of a lot of other activities. But uh, many people that I post are with AWS DevOps career. Sorry, just a second. One second. Okay. I'm not sure where did that audio come from, but yeah. So basically, many of those things are related to AWS and DevOps. And personally, I know a lot of people who are currently giving interviews, and they're getting a lot of calls. If you're not getting calls, please focus on your resume. Please focus on how you are applying for the things. But people are getting two jobs, three jobs, and they're trying to, pick up what is the best out of it, and they are entering into the software. So right now, if you are in India, market is good. Say end of DevOps clearly. What does that mean? What is the end of software engineering? How will someone know what is the end? Likit Reddy, something that nobody can answer, right? How can someone answer the end of DevOps or end of development, end of SRE? What is CNI? CNI is Container Network Interface. I think I've explained in the Kubernetes playlist also what is CNI. So it's a container network interface. Let's say you are running containers inside the pods within your Kubernetes cluster. There has to be a network interface within your Kubernetes cluster, right? So for that, basically to set up that networking within your Kubernetes cluster, you need a container network that you have to build, and Kubernetes comes up with a container network interface. So your container network has to be something that will implement the container network interface of Kubernetes. For example, Flannel, Calico, SDN, OVN, right? So you can use any of these container networks. All of them implement the container network interface. Tomorrow, Kurshid is asking. So let's say Kurshid wants to create a networking, right? Let's say you want to create a layer 2, layer 3 networking, and you want your network to work with Kubernetes. So what you need to do is you have to make sure the container network that you are building implements the CNI, that is the container network interface of Kubernetes. Only then your container network can work within the Kubernetes clusters. Okay, let's pick up more questions. Splunk zero to hero. I don't think it is required. Right? For Splunk, I will do a video. That should be enough. Like we don't need a complete playlist for Splunk. Just a video, maybe 1.5, 2 hours should be enough. We'll do it sometime. DevOps Telugu. Glad to know that you know Hindi. Yeah, I can understand and I can speak also. When are you going to post, like if Microsoft replies, then I'll start Azure? I'll definitely not post that because I have already done Azure zero to hero. uh Come on. Let's take how to add DevOps cloud projects to GitHub. Just like I'll give you an example. Coding is asking this question. If you go to Azure day 15 zero to hero video in the Azure zero to hero playlist, so there is a project that I have done. It's a voting application. I've shown you how to add that project to GitHub. I've also shown you how to add that project to Azure repos. And if you just simply add your README file, then you can create that project and you can play with it. Can you create testing tools playlist in DevOps? What is the use case? Why exactly you need that? Probably if you can complete that question, I'll tell you. But otherwise, testing tools playlist is not required. As a DevOps engineer, you just integrate. Let's say your testing team is writing the tests in the robot framework, or let's say your testing team is writing the tests in Gingo. Let's say your testing team is writing the tests in uh, Go test framework, right? Or JUnit framework, any framework. So all that you need to do is you just have to integrate. You don't need to know the testing tools. I'm scared to join DevOps role because work is more, risk is involved. How to overcome from this fear? See, don't overcome from the fear. Basically, do only if you are passionate about it. Yeah, definitely. There will be work, there will be risk. You will be dealing with critical items, right? If you are passionate about it, you will overcome that fear. You will really like it. So I would really appreciate, instead of fearing it, what you can do is just try to get involved with DevOps. It's a very really cool concept. Even these days, developers are learning DevOps because DevOps is so innovative. You can do a lot of things. You can play a lot with it. So yeah, do companies gives do companies give DevOps job to fresher? How to find? Okay, Varun, the answer to this is that yes, companies offer freshers jobs in the DevOps role. Best example, I've recently done podcast with Vishwa. Before that, I did with Kranti. Before that, I did with. There are so many podcasts that we have done, and not everyone even comes to the podcast. I try to invite a lot of freshers, but there are a lot of reasons why they don't come because of XYZ reasons. Otherwise, yes, opportunities when compared to experienced people are less these days because of the market. But if you go back to 2021, 2022, even in our company, we have hired freshers in the DevOps roles. Uh, Today in 2024, freshers opportunities are less, not only in DevOps, but it is everywhere. I speak to freshers in Java. I speak to freshers in cloud computing roles. In lot of roles, freshers are finding opportunities very difficult. That is because of the market. But to answer your question, yeah, opportunities are there. And how to find? General, LinkedIn, Naukri, same place. There is no new place for freshers. And try to reach out to more people on LinkedIn. Try to see, if you can reach out to recruiters on LinkedIn. You can reach out to uh, experienced people and ask them if there are any openings. Just refer my profile. That's how. Praveen, can you please do video on SRE resume template? Okay, yeah. First, my idea is to do a SRE video. If possible, I'll do multiple videos on SRE because personally, I'm also very interested. I thought of doing it like 6 months before. Actually, sometime I thought of doing it, but what happened was I got busy with the other things, then I couldn't do. But site reliability engineering is a very cool concept. I'll definitely do a playlist on that sometime, right from explaining what exactly is site reliability engineering, what is the core principles of site reliability engineering. I'll try to explain monitoring in detail. Then we'll talk about SLA, SLI, SLOs, how actually, like, many people talk about SLA, SLI, SLOs, but how exactly a real SLA look like, how exactly the service level objectives are defined in an organization, how to create the indicators, right? And how to run the scripts that will automatically work on your service level indicators. We'll try to do all of these things, but I'm not sure when, but I will definitely do that. Thank you so much, Great Pandey. And thank you, Shalini, for joining as a member. Okay, there is one more super chat. Let me pick that and I'll also go to the chat section. I'm looking for some important questions. Yeah, Great Pandey, you're back. Sir, coming from ServiceNow domain with 2 years of experience. So, which type of job should I look for? Fresher, experienced in DevOps? Please tell me. Always go for experienced role if you already have experience. Okay, you should not go for fresher role. Let's say here you have 2 years of experience, right? In this 2 years of experience, you definitely have learned a lot of things, right? It's not that you're working as a service now, you're coming from service no domain. So at least you will have experience of incident management, you will have experience of change management, you will have experience of uh, disaster recovery, right? You will have experience on deployments, team collaboration. You will have good experience of war rooms, meetings, right? When you come from service no domain, you already have gained some knowledge. Why should you go as a fresher? What you will do is spend 3 months, spend 6 months, try to learn DevOps. Then, along with your ServiceNow experience, and within the 6 months where you try to learn, self learn DevOps, where you try to do the projects on the DevOps, right? Then, using these 2 years that you already have and 6 months experience, show as a 2.6 year experience. And using this experience, you can explain that in the last 6 months, I've been working on DevOps, where in my organization, I got some exposure. And personally, also, I've been learning DevOps and try to go as a 2.6 years experience. Do not waste your previous experience at any point of time. And especially when you are in the IT domain, do not go that. Do not go to that. How are you, Abhishek? Thank you so much for asking, Durgesh. I'm doing great. Okay, let's get going. Okay. What about Devin AI? Is that affects cloud and DevOps? Watch my latest video. The last video on the channel is about Devin and the impact of Devin. So you should definitely watch that. I have explained. Okay, let me go to the latest comments. Interview questions about Kubernetes in your playlist is enough. Basically, just by going through the interview questions, it is definitely not enough. But if you watch the entire Kubernetes playlist and then if you go through the interview questions, yeah, it will be enough. But just going with the interview questions only will not be sufficient because you have to learn the fundamentals, you have to learn the concepts, you have to do the Kubernetes projects that I have done. Only then it will be enough. We have done very complicated projects on Kubernetes as well. Like multi-Kubernetes cluster deployment is something that we have done. Probably you will not even find that anywhere. I don't know, but even if you find, it is very rare, because multi-cluster Kubernetes deployment using Argo CD, which is a very niche concept, we have also done that. Then we have done three-tier architecture deployment on the Kubernetes cluster with multi microservices. If you do all of these things, you will gain experience. Just by going through interview questions, you will definitely not be able to clear. What upcoming courses on your channel? It's a surprise. I will announce that soon. Please create AWS DevOps resume for experienced from your playlist. Did you watch the recent Azure resume that I've done? It is exactly same, right? I can do one more video, but I'm not sure what knowledge will you gain out of it, because uh, I have explained how to create the entire resume. I took some videos from the Azure playlist, and I have explained how to put them in the resume. It will be exactly same for AWS also, but if you really feel that will help, then I will make. Okay. Which one to learn first, DevOps or AWS? DATE. DevOps, AWS or Azure, Terraform. This is the order. If you start with cloud, you will not understand anything, because let's say you start with cloud, and let's say you go to a course, or you go to a tutorial, you go to an offline institute, and if someone start explaining you, uh, even if someone explains you EC2 instance, how will you understand if you don't understand the concept of virtual machine? Or let's say someone says you tells you elastic Kubernetes service, how will you understand if you don't know what is Kubernetes? Someone tells you, let's say, yeah, any concept on cloud, they're basically either platform, either service, or infrastructure, right? Otherwise, you need to know the basics, core fundamentals. So always start with the fundamental concepts, then we'll go with the cloud platform. Cloud might sound very easy to you, because by click of few buttons you will get something, but you need to know. Chalo, uninstall Instagram. Gopi Krishna. Yeah, you don't have to do that. How to explain previous project in the interview? Like if you really focus on that particular project, right, you will get some insight, you will understand, like go deep into that project, start with what and why, right? Exactly, start from that point. What exactly are you doing in the project, why are you in that project, and why is that project, what customers are getting from that project. If you understand these things, you can explain your project to anyone. Request for more Azure CICD pipeline. We have done multi microservice architecture CICD pipeline, right? Like if you can explain me more, like what exactly is that more, I will definitely do. KT, like try to elaborate your thing and try to explain what exactly is in that more thing. Like probably that will also help me, and I will definitely do that video. No problem. Any suggestions for hands-on interview prep? International student, 6 plus experience, and unable to get on with interviews. Srimant Teja. Hi, Srimant Teja. Any suggestions for hands-on interview preparation? I know Code Cloud as a platform where they have some Kubernetes um, tutorials, hands-on tutorials, but I'm not exactly sure how much they can help you, because I have never experienced that platform, and I've never actually worked on use that platform as much. Not as much actually, I did not even log into that platform, so I don't know how much that can help, but a lot of people actually told me that they use that platform. So that is only for Kubernetes that I know. There might be other things, but people always talk about Kubernetes. Apart from that, hands on, basically you don't have to go to a platform, Srimant. What you can do, let's say tomorrow is your interview, do not do these things that I'm trying to explain. But if you're focusing on the 10 days, 15 days interviews after 1 month, my suggestion would be pick up the projects, do the hands on by yourself. If you go to our Azure or if you go to our AWS, there is e-commerce project. That e-commerce project is with 8 microservices. There are 2 databases. There is one caching service. There is a queuing service. So there are 12 services in it. If you can explain the interviewer this project, and if you can explain how are you deploying this, it's called as e-commerce application, robot shop application. It is in both AWS as well as Azure Zero to Hero series. In AWS, it's the last video of the playlist. In Azure, probably it comes 17th or 18th video. In Azure, we have another project also, voting application, which is a 5 microservices with one database and one caching server, in-memory data store, that is Redis. Take these projects, get your hands dirty, deploy them, you will fail. Deploy them again, you will fail. I'm explaining in the video, you might feel it is easy, but when you try to do it by yourself, you will find them really difficult. Even after watching the video, you will take couple of days, you will take 3-4 days, but after that, your confidence will be like you can deploy any applications, you can create Helm charts, you can play with those applications, right? So sometimes we are very afraid of taking that first step. We are always hesitant that, I might not be able to deploy these things. I'm not sure if I can actually work with these applications. They are very difficult. But once you work with them, then you will get the confidence to work with any applications. So as platforms, I know only about that platform. But if you want to do hands-on by yourself, there are so many examples in AWS and Azure Zero to Hero playlist. Member for 3 months, goofy guy. Thank you so much. How to do active open source contribution? Please make video on active open source contribution. Definitely, I will do that. This is a very interesting thing also. Like a lot of people just talk about. I'm not criticizing anyone, but just do not go to an open source project and just do not try to create a pull request for a documentation change, or just do not go and, let's say you're good with coding also, but just do not go there and try to fix a if condition, or do not go there and try to fix a conditional handling. What exactly you need to do, you need to become an active open source contributor. And one more thing is, do not do open source contributions for salary. Do not do open source contributions for getting into a good company. Open source is meant for something else altogether. Okay, you might know few people who are doing open source contributions and who are earning in 6 digits, 7 digits, but that doesn't mean everybody who is doing open source will get that figures. Open source is meant to be done out of passion. Open source is meant to be done to contribute to something, right? So that is the whole phenomena of open source. Someone open sources a thing because he or she feels that many people will use that particular open source project and they will be benefited out of it, right? So try to think of open source as a platform where you are doing things out of your passion. Otherwise, I'll definitely tell you what is the roadmap to become active open source contributor. There are multiple steps that you have to follow. First, identify the project that you want to work with. How you want to identify, I'll tell that. Second, once you identify the project, try to get onto the contributor office hours meetings. Try to get onto the special interest groups of that particular open source project. And once you do these things, then you start thinking about code. Then you start thinking about fixing the code. Before that, if you are very interested, there are good first time item labels. You can just go there, you can contribute, but you are not active open source contributor. Just you are fixing a one-off bug on that particular project. Okay. Hi, everything in my company is done manually and almost no DevOps tools are used. Okay. I only deploy applications on private servers and there is no learning. Should I leave the job without backup to learn? Please do not leave the job without backup at this point of time, because now, if you are a fresher or if you have less experience, people are finding difficult. But if you have good number of years of experience, then yeah, there is no problem. But still, it depends on you how much time you need to learn a technology. Let's say you said that you don't have uh, prior working experience on the DevOps tools because your organization is not using it. So why not, along with working in this organization, give the interviews, and once you get the at least get the first offer letter, resign that. Your first offer might be of less package, but still you have something, so you can resign at that point of time. Then give multiple interviews, crack two, three, and then decide. Okay, there are so many comments. I'll be here for the next 15 minutes. So yeah, let's get going. AWS, Azure, GCP. You asked in the order. That's the order. AWS, Azure, GCP. If you ask me, this is the exact order from the job point of view. How deep should we go on the concepts? Do we need to focus on Kubernetes for 1-2 years experience candidate? And now I am working on the application. Yes, you need to focus on Kubernetes. But good question, how much you have to focus? So see, basically, you will get the answer to this question if you give 2 to 3 interviews. Okay. So one thing is that different company has different expectations. Let's say you are giving for a established MNC where they are not using any engrossing or trending technologies. Their expectation from a fresher might be less. But if you are going to a startup, their expectation from a fresher might be more. So on an average, my suggestion would be give 3 to 4 interviews. Then yourself you will understand what level you need to learn. But if you ask me from the Kubernetes point of view, just I can explain for one tool. If you have 1 to 2 years experience, try to understand what is a pod, what is a deployment, what is service, different types of services, how the Kubernetes architecture would look like, config maps, secrets. Try to understand the concept of namespaces. Try to understand the concept of network policies. Then try to understand how the deployment is done onto the Kubernetes, right? And other topics, probably you can just understand it at a very high level. But these things that I've quickly iterated are the ones that you have to go for. After Azure Zero to Hero, could you create a video on ELK stack with Kubernetes? I'm seeing lot of times in the GD. Okay, sure. I'll try to focus on the ELK stack. I cannot promise right after Azure Zero to Hero, but I'll definitely talk about Elasticsearch, Logstash, and Kibana. I have worked as a DevOps content creator for 2 years. Now I want to switch to full-time DevOps roles. How do I proceed? Hey, that's great. You could have posted your channel name also, Arvind. But if you have done content creation for 2 years on DevOps, then you are senior to me. So I'm sure you must have good knowledge on the DevOps. If you want to switch to the full-time role, yeah, you can just show your content creation experience as a freelancing. So you can say that from last 2 years you're working on freelancing, and I believe you should have also generated revenue from the YouTube, or if you're doing content creation on YouTube or any other platforms, it's as good as you're working for a tech platform, right? So you can show that experience as a freelancing. It's exactly like you are working for a tech platform where you are a content creator on that tech platform. So just show that experience. Keep doing good work, Abhishek bhai. Thank you so much. Tech tutorials with Piyush. So this is Piyush. He has a channel with the same name, Tech Tutorials with Piyush. I think the comment is from that YouTube channel only. Thank you so much, Piyush. Keep up the good work as well. Okay, I'll be there for next 10 minutes. So let's see. Let me go to the last and pick some comments. Hi Abhishek, can I get place where I can contact you after successful install Jenkins? I have After successful install of Jenkins, I got error unable to connect to Jenkins when I want to install plugins. So if you want to contact, then you can post the comment in YouTube. You can message me on LinkedIn. There is also a Telegram channel called Doubts Clearing Telegram channel. It should be part of every video's description. All that you need to do is join the channel as a member. Then you will get access to that Doubts Clearing Telegram channel. You can also ask doubt there. So these are the different mediums that I have. Bro, I learned Java. Is it okay for DevOps? It's okay. It's okay. Whatever you learn in life doesn't go wasted, right? The same applies to DevOps as well. Okay, there is a question here. How to negotiate on a package? What should be our approach? Okay, see, I'm not expert in it, but I will share my how will I do it, right? How will I do it? I can just explain that. Akash Punekar is asking this question. So, see, if you have to negotiate on a package, basically what I will do is whenever I get the first opportunity in a company, yeah, first thing that you have to do is just once you get your first offer, then do not randomly go for XYZ companies. Once you already have the offer with you, then pick up the companies, like net pick the companies, what or cherry pick the companies that you are looking for. Do not give tens of interviews, hundreds of interviews, right? You will have some benchmark companies that you are looking for once you already have an offer, right? So when you get that benchmark company offer, and if they're offering you less package, what you can do is you can clearly tell them there is no hide and seek here. Just directly approach to the HR. Once you clear the interview, tell them in a very formal way that, hey, I'm interested in joining your organization, but I have another opportunity with me, or I have another offer with me where they are offering the same package as you are doing, but I want to join your organization, and I will be very happy if you provide me, something better than what the other company is offering. That's exactly how you have to explain, right? Do not just call them and tell them that, hey, I'm looking for more package. Try to justify your reason. Why are you asking for it? Just drop a formal email or call them and tell them very clearly, this is the thing. This is why I'm looking for more package. I'm interested in joining your company, and I promise you that I'll join your company given that you can give me a better offer than what I already have. And you might ask me that, after giving you the better package, you will again try to find for different companies. Then tell them very clearly that, see, I am dropping your email because I really like your job description. I really want to work with your company. And if you just give me a better package than what I already have, then I promise you that I'll join your company. This is how you have to explain. Just a formal email. That's it. 20. Soham, thank you so much. Thanks for contributing to the channel. Okay. Yeah, last 5 minutes. Let me pick up a few more questions. Hi, Abhishek. Will be. Sorry. Hi, Abhishek. Will be giving. I think you're asking, will you be giving online training classes for DevOps and cloud? I think that's your question. No, I will be focusing on YouTube, and if at all I do it sometime later, because right now I have few things that I have to still complete on YouTube, so I'm not even focusing on those things. My focus is helping more number of people by contributing free playlists, whoever are underprivileged, or not only underprivileged. Yeah, it's not about underprivileged only. I want to make it very clear. I do it free. One is, uh, I don't have to distract myself too much thinking about the paid courses and all the equation around it. And other primary reason is that I do it for free because if I go with paid courses, I can only help 100 people, or I can only help 500 people. But if I do free courses, then there is no there is no end to the number of people that you can reach. And again, obviously, there are people who cannot afford the paid courses. There are students. Uh, Very importantly, there are a lot of students on the channel. There are people who are working professionals, but still, they don't have that thing to go to the paid courses. So even that way, we can help. And other thing is using this YouTube as a medium and free courses, we can reach out to a lot number of people. And when I'm taking so much time out and when I'm trying to explain, if I reach out to large number of people, that will be good to me, right? So that's the only thing. But otherwise, paid courses gives me also helps me in terms of revenue. But right now, my focus is only on YouTube. Which company are you working with? I'm working with Red Hat. It's on my LinkedIn profile. If you want to understand more what I'm working, what I'm doing, it will be on my LinkedIn. You can check that out. Abhishek, HR is asking me which domain are you working with? How can I explain? That depends on your company. Let's say again you're working for Nike, right? Then the domain that you're working for is either e-commerce domain, or you are working for what will that domain be called as? Okay, let's say you're working for Tata. Then there is financial services domain. Then you're working in the finance domain. If you're working for a pharma company, then you have the life sciences domain that you're working for. That's how you have to decide which company you're working for. That determines your domain. Chalo, last 3 minutes. Golang. Okay, this one I wanted to pick. Where is that? There was a good question. Okay, this is something that I'll not answer. How much your salary package? I mean, see, this as a platform itself is not good to discuss about the package. Other thing is because I'm working for a company and there is a non-disclosure agreement that I signed with my company, so I cannot disclose my package. Otherwise, when I meet you personally, Kaushik, I'll explain you. Golang operator and operator framework. Please share your knowledge. Okay, I think I've made a video also, right? In the Kubernetes playlist, I have explained how to write a Golang Kubernetes operator right from the scratch. Just go to the Kubernetes playlist. I've used the operator framework itself and I've built a Golang operator only. So you will understand how to use the operator framework, operator SDK, and build a Golang Kubernetes operator. Okay. Dhruv is saying Abhishek has a lot of money, he's rich. Okay, that's nice. Nice to think so. Thank you, Big Music. Please create roadmap for AWS. I have a complete playlist on AWS. That's exactly the roadmap, right? If you go to AWS Zero to Hero, that's the roadmap, Zero to Hero. Talk about Golang. I will do videos on Golang. Sure. Okay, I think that's all we have for today. Thank you so much for joining the live. Okay, this is one question. Let me pick. Where is that? Multi-cloud expertise or single cloud mastery? Single cloud mastery. Go with that. Okay. So thank you so much for watching the video today. I will try to do the live again, like I told you. Every Monday, I'm trying to do the live. I'm not making videos on Monday specifically for that because I can accommodate this live session. So try to join with me on Monday. This is how we will take the questions. And if you have any questions, I'll try to answer as much as possible. So see you all in the next live. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.